We are about 2 weeks away from the 2015 college baseball season, and I had the opportunity to sit down with Cal State Northridge's head coach to discuss the upcoming season. We have CSUN baseball coach Greg Moore. Greg, how's it going?
It's going well, John. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. Now, let's get right to the chase. Last season, you guys tied 8th in conference. As your first year as head coach, was that what you were expecting out of the season last year?
Our expectation was to work throughout the year, to show up every day and do the right thing the right way at the right time. We did that. I'm very proud of the group that we had. They invested the time, they invested the effort. What the record says at the end, I don't look at that. I look at the growth we saw and the improvements that we made. There was plenty of both.
Now this year, we noticed there's 23 newcomers this year coming in. How many of them will we actually see coming opening weekend?
I think you're going to see a variety of teams that we can put out on the field. We have a little bit better depth. We've got some explosive young players. Now our returning core is also very good, with Will Colantano coming back, Nick Blazer, our leading hitter last year. So I think you're going to see some athletic young guys, newcomers, complement the group that returns. It's so hard to make a transition into college baseball. No matter how good you were in junior college or how good you were in high school, you're going to see a mix, however, and a mix of talented guys.
Now, for you as a coach, what have you done differently this year to prepare the team than last year?
Well, it's a progression. Yes, last year, it was about instilling the ethic of work, running to work instead of running away from the idea that something's going to be difficult. This year, the returning group understands that. So now we really need to hone in on understanding that it's about taking that work and directing it at the game of baseball. And when we do that, we start to understand what that leads to off the field, the focus on the field, the ability to communicate in pressure situations. Those are all skills that seep out into their lives. But now that we're running towards work, we can start to look at those specific skills and how they translate on a baseball field.
Now in 2013, a year before you came in, the pitching staff had a low 3 earned run average, and last year they had a little above 4. What has the pitchers done specifically this year to make sure that gets lowered this upcoming season?
That's a good question as far as ERA. I didn't know what our ERA was last year, and I didn't know what it was the year before. What we're going to do better and better is we're going to understand our routines better, pre-game, in-game, post-game. What we're going to do better is we're going to understand our game jobs better. What we'll do better is we'll take signs in an improved way and we'll execute at a higher level. Those are our goals. What the ERA is, there's so many determinant factors that are outside of our control. So we'll focus on one day, one pitch at a time.
Now, small ball, it's really crucial in baseball, more you're seeing these days. Has there anything been more enforced this offseason for more bunts and getting runners over this offseason?
Well, college baseball is interesting. It always tweaks and changes. A few years ago, small ball became the thing because you had dead bats, you had big parks. This year, I think you're going to see a mix. The balls are going to lower seams, and for the physics majors out there, they're going to enjoy that because you're going to see balls travel 10 to 15 feet further when they're hit 300 feet or more. So you're going to see the return of the big guy that gets in the middle of our order, gets into the middle of some recruiting classes for other schools. But you don't change much. It's still fundamental baseball, and every once in a while the game will dictate that you can do some different things with the personnel that you have.
Now, recent coaches poll just came out over the weekend. Had you guys slated 6. How do you keep your players from being distracted from hearing all the outside media and all the talk about standings and statistics and everything?
You have to look at reality. The reality was that the Super Bowl was yesterday. The reality is that in 2 weeks another team shows up and they're going to play us. You look backwards, you look forward, and you learn from both bookends, but you need to look down day by day. We're picked 6th, and I laugh at that. I say, what's the statistical probability that we're the only team picked 6th in the Big West? It's improbable because there's only one. We are it. So we take the focus to ourselves. We look down, we go day by day, and you smile at those things. You appreciate the conference and how well run it is. But we don't get caught up in things that don't matter.
Greg, thank you. Thank you for your time. February 13th, the Matadors open up their season against Utah Valley at 2 p.m.